Vengeant Cascade is a notable that has gone long overlooked. Introduced back in Blight League, it originally gathered some excitement at the prospects of double hits and exciting clear. But in playtesting, it fell short for a few reasons. It required hitting a target without having any other projectile mechanics left to do in order for the projectile to return. This meant if the projectile could still chain, fork, or pierce, anything of that nature, on hitting an enemy, it would not return, and it would try to do the rest of those mechanics if it could. And it would travel onward, most likely hitting a wall and doing nothing. It created a bit of a conundrum, because to clear well, you wanted to stack chain, you wanted to stack fork and pierce, so it didn't play particularly well with clear setups when it came to projectile attack builds. And for single target, you needed to have something like one pierce, plus an enemy behind the boss to return off of in order to get a second hit from Vengeant Cascade, which ultimately left this skill, or this notable rather, unusable, because it was just better to anoint something else and min-max your character rather than play with a little bit extra projectiles going random directions in an unhelpful way for the most part. But in 3.13, this all changed when GGG released Hydrosphere, a skill that has led to some of the biggest power plays for chaining and projectile builds to take advantage of. This skill alone makes Vengeant Cascade the strongest notable in the game for projectile-based attack builds. Let me explain. Vengeant Cascade, in combination with Hydrosphere, can reliably cause our attack hits to hit the enemy twice, effectively doubling our damage. How does it double our hits? Quite simply, the method we are using is to curse the enemy with Sniper's Mark and cast Hydrosphere on top or behind the enemy we wish to kill. Our projectile will hit the enemy, then split off the enemy due to Sniper's Mark, and the split projectile will proceed to hit the Hydrosphere, and on hitting the Hydrosphere, the projectile has to return, given we do not grab pierce, chain, or fork, and it travels back through the boss, causing a second hit, doubling our damage for the one attack we used. From testing this, it will work simply by casting the Hydrosphere on top of the boss, and I will showcase that. This means it plays perfectly with Spellslinger and a helmet like Azineth's Chant if you are using a bow build. Now I believe it's time for an in-game demonstration. Now I made some pretty bold claims about Vengeant Cascade doubling your damage. Let me prove it to you. So, this is a method I like to use whenever I'm testing something to answer the question, can it shotgun? How many hits am I getting? And the way you do it is you get a skill to get 100% chance to poison. So right now I have a Frenzy right here with 110% chance to poison. I got chance to poison from my Ice Fang Orbit. I got some chance to poison on the tree here, and I supported it with chance to poison. And then you get a base weapon like this. We're trying, the goal here is to just deal almost no damage so we're not killing the enemy. And then you add in a jewel called Golden Rule. Golden Rule reflects poisons back to you. So if we poison an enemy, then we will get a number up here for how many poisons we have on ourselves, thus telling us how many poisons we're getting per attack we do. Now, so what we have here is we have also Hydrosphere linked to Void Manipulation, so the supported skill deals no elemental damage. That way our Hydrosphere isn't killing anything and it isn't dealing any damage. So, if I don't have Vengeant Cascade on, I will show you right here. If I poison an enemy, if Hydrosphere is there, you can see every time we attack, we're getting one poison stack. Okay, and like I said earlier, that Vengeant Cascade will be shot back from the Hydrosphere through the enemy for an additional hit. If I put this amulet on that has Vengeant Cascade, you'll see we hit the enemy, we get 2 poisons. I attack again, 2 poisons. I attack again, 2 poisons. That means I'm getting 2 hits on this singular zombie, and it's thanks to Vengeant Cascade. I'm not kidding when I think this is the best anoint for a Wander for sure. Frankly, it's probably mandatory in every Wander build. If you want to go for maximum single target, you cannot beat this anoint. It is straight up doubling your damage. It does have the downside of your single target setup cannot have pierce, it cannot have chain. Unfortunately, that means for me, as a Deadeye, I can't take advantage of things like Ricochet, which would make my clear setup feel even better. But I'm okay with that, because Vengeant Cascade, if you saw the clips earlier, the clear is good. If you throw out a kinetic blast one direction, you hit enemies, the kinetic blast is going to go back the other direction, and it's going to hit everything behind you as well. The clear still feels great, even if you aren't investing into any additional clear into your main hand setup or just globally. And then on your clear setup, you could potentially add in chain or pierce yourself if you want to do that. It is amazing. It feels great for clear, and it feels great for single target. I'm convinced this is, if I ever play a Wander again, this is mandatory. Frankly, I might even take advantage with it with bow characters as well, depending on which projectile skills you use. It seems so good to me. I'm really happy because this has been an anoint that I always thought seemed so cool, and I think it's been really never used much, and it's fell by the wayside. And that's because when it got released, Hydrosphere didn't exist, and now that it exists, I can't imagine doing another anoint besides this one with how much power it gives. Unfortunately, it also brings the question into my mind, which is far shot. Am I getting far shot damage? If I'm shooting the projectile far away, does the game create a new projectile to shoot back my direction, in which case that projectile doesn't get the far shot damage from me standing far away? And that thought is nagging at me, and it's making me think I have to re-level a different ascendancy. Because if I'm not getting far shot damage doubled, I think there's probably better ascendancy choices for me than Deadeye, and I might have to level a Scion. I might have to reconsider my choice for this build. I think this build is turning out really well. I'm excited to actually make a guide around this full on, you know, information on how to craft gear. This isn't going to be a cheap build. This is definitely going to be expensive. I spent 50x crafting, actually probably closer to 60x, but in my defense, about 30 of it went into the boots, and I haven't even finished the boots because I just got really unlucky with Ashleen Unveils, and that's another story for another time. I'll go over information on how you can make this character in a full fleshed out guide, but this character is very, very strong. I am quite excited to min-max this a little bit, tweak around the passives, play with it, and I'm going to do the extra heavy lifting of trying out some different ascendancies just to make sure I pick the right one, and I can recommend that to you guys. So, anyways, hopefully you found that useful. It's information that you can use if you're playing a Wander, or potentially even a bow character could take advantage of this. If you're using the Asnesh chant, you could shift around your Hydrosphere and take advantage of Vengeant Cascade. It's a crazy tech. I am so surprised that I don't see it being used more. I'm just baffled. I really am. It's so powerful. So, really excited and really glad I tried it out and got to get a feel for how cool this anoint can be. And hope you guys enjoy it too. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.